Today, while I was reading the Murli, I remembered a story from Bhakti. In that story, there is a beggar and he begs in front of the king's palace every day. And the king gives him some alms. And then he sees that the king, just like the beggar, comes and sits before the palace every day. The king also has a routine of going somewhere early in the morning every day. So when he observes that, he thinks, I come to the king to take something. Where does the king go? Let me follow him. So then he follows the king. And the king goes to the temple. And then he prostrates before the Shivlingam. And then he every day comes back. So then the beggar thinks, I am begging from the beggar, so let me beg from the master. So let me directly go to the one the king goes to. So from the next day, what he does is he stops coming to the palace. Early morning, he goes to the temple, even before the king. So this is exactly what Baba is saying today. That, you can either be a giver or a beggar. And Baba says that those who are givers are worship worthy. In Hindi we say Devata. Devata means dene wala, the one who gives. Now, Baba says, how can somebody who is themselves remembering somebody or, calling out to somebody, give you something? So Baba says, only deities are worship worthy. So Baba says, at this time, the deities are becoming worship worthy. So at this time, only Shiv Baba is worship worthy. At this time, nobody other than Shiv Baba is worship worthy. Because everybody is, remembering someone else to fill their aprons. So if, you go to any Mahatma, Dharmatma, any, Sadhu, Sant, anybody, they are also remembering somebody. They are also calling out to God in whatever name and form. So if they are calling out to God, then why should you call out to them? Why should anybody worship them? So Baba says, at this time, just remember me, just belong to me. And when you belong to me, you become worship worthy. Because the law of remembrance is, you become like the one you remember. So if you remember the one who is a beggar, then you become a beggar. You remember a bhagat, you become a bhagat. You don't become a deity. But you remember Baba, who is the giver, and you become, Baba who is worship worthy, then you also become worship worthy. You also become a deity who doesn't worship anybody but is only worshipped. So Baba says that in Satyug and Treta Yuga, the deities won't worship anybody. There will be no worshipping in the golden and silver ages. And why? Because the deities, how do you become a deity? You don't become a deity by reading scriptures or keeping fasts or doing any of the stuff that devotees do. You become a deity by remembering Shiv Baba. And only through this law of remembrance does Shiv Baba, who is the worship worthy one, make us worship worthy. And Baba says you become such worship worthy in the two ages that you don't have to remember anybody. Just like Baba doesn't remember anybody, we will also for 2 ages not remember anybody. And You see, remembrance is also associated with, um, with emptiness. So the law of energy says that if you are in need of power, then you will always be attracted to the power source. So, energy will always be pulled, lower vibration will always be pulled by higher vibration. So that is why, there is this tendency to remember somebody. Yes, so, people think that you remember somebody out of love. But when you're completely loveful, you don't remember anybody. You remember anybody only when they give you attainment. Remembrance is associated with attainment. And even now, when we remember Baba, Baba says that it is not, Baba doesn't say that, if you remember me for attainment, it is selfish or anything. Baba says, please use me. So Baba says, please remember me and fill yourself with attainment. And that's okay. Because the law of remembrance is, if you are a full soul, you won't remember anybody. So whenever we are remembering somebody, we are only remembering them for whatever they give us. So whether it is something physical, something emotional, something, material, whatever, but you only remember them who give you something. And Baba says that when you are empty, when you are, emptiness is unhappiness. So when you are empty, when you are not content, not happy, so when you are not full, so what is happiness? Happiness is the physical expression of contentment inside. You cannot see contentment, but you can see happiness. But actually, happiness or permanent happiness has its roots in contentment or fullness. So, whenever you are full, and you are only that full in Satyug. So, Baba says, when you are completely full, when you are completely happy, then you don't remember anybody. And when you are, when we reach Dwapar Yuga or the Copper Age, by that time we have become half empty. So then we start remembering the one who we have a memory of making us full. And this is how temples are created and bhakti starts. So Baba says that the only ones who are worthy of worship are right now Shiv Baba and then deities also. Because Shiv Baba doesn't remember anybody and deities also don't remember anybody or worship anybody. And later, everybody is a worshipper. So nobody is worthy of worship. So Baba says, although, it has become very customary these days to bow down before everybody. But Baba says there is no need to bow down before any Mahatma, any Dharmatma, because they are all themselves, seeking. You see, people are called seekers these days. People are not called givers. In this world, nobody is a giver, everybody is a seeker. And why are you seeking from the seeker? You seek from the giver. So Baba says at this time, you must understand that there are no deities also, because deities have all taken rebirths and become, empty. And everybody else is also a beggar. So now, right now, we only need to remember one Baba and none other. And today, Baba also reminds us of our promise that we made to Shiv Baba. And what was the promise? That Baba, when you come, we will only surrender to you. Yes, we will surrender everything to you. So there is this word called balihar. And Balihar means complete surrender. And Baba says, you had promised that when you come, I will surrender to you completely. And now I'm reminding you of that promise. So, do you remember that you promised Baba? Yes. So, yes. So sometimes, you in the world also you say something, or you even sign some document, but without reading them, and then you are held accountable for that, and then you don't remember when you gave that commitment. But and sometimes in bhakti also, we just sing the praises and the artis and the kirtans that we are taught without thinking about it deeply. And then in all those songs, we are singing these things that, when you come, we will surrender ourselves on you. And maybe we didn't even think about what we are saying. Yes, so just like, when people get married, they take vows and they don't pay attention to what they're actually saying. And then they don't fulfill those vows. Just like that, we have all these customs, and mostly we do everything without meaning, and without understanding the meaning. And there are so many shlokas that we also read and recite, which are written in a language we don't understand. And Baba says, for 63 births, over and over again, you have only told me that I will surrender to you. And now you have to surrender to me completely. And what is complete surrender? So, what is complete surrender is? What is complete surrender? Who will tell me? What is complete surrender? So, let me just unmute you and you can say, yes. So, what is complete surrender?
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Shrimad. And what is?
Not using my intellect, but I just follow the directions that has been given.
Doing everything on Baba's directions. Anything
And
else?
world seva also, Didi.
World seva is surrender. What else is surrender?
And the occupation of Baba is my occupation. The sanskar of Baba is my sanskar. And to think the way God thinks, that is, I don't have anything of mine. It is everything that is complete surrender.
Correct.
To Baba.
Okay. Thank you. So all the answers are correct. And today what Baba is underlining is complete surrender means remembering just one Baba. And what you are talking is an expression of that. Yes, so of course, when you are remembering just one Baba, then you will think like Baba, speak like Baba, act like Baba. Of course, that is an expression of that. But what is the act of surrender? Remembering just one Baba. Yes, and then body, mind, wealth, everything is surrendered, of course. So you remember that story about King Janak. And in that story, it is said that King Janak was looking for the method for Jivan Mukti. And how would I become liberated in life in a second? And then he was told that, okay, he was told by Ashtavakra that I will give you the formula for Jivan Mukti, but what will you give me in return? So then King Janak said, I will give you my kingdom, I will give you this, that, and the other, or half the kingdom, full the kingdom. And then this sage, or this learned person, Ashtavakra, he said, no, I am asking you, what will you give me? So all of this belongs to the world. What is yours? So then he was told that you surrender your mind and you surrender your buddhi and you only remember me. That's what is surrender. So surrender means you surrender, you the only one you remember is Baba. And then how do you express that in your personality? So what will be the obvious signs when you remember only one Baba? Then you use all your resources on the directions of Baba. So just like you think like Baba, your purpose is Baba's purpose, you are committed to world service, and you are using your body, mind, well, time, energy, thought, everything for doing what Baba has come to do. That is an expression of that. But then how do you achieve that state? You don't achieve by that state just by intention. You achieve that state by constant remembrance of just Baba, because only remembrance purifies us. And when we become pure like Baba, then we would think like Baba, act like Baba, behave like Baba, make choices like Baba. So this is what Baba says is complete surrender. And Baba says complete surrender is associated with absolute remembrance of just one. And Baba says, in bhakti, you told me that I will remember only you. But you are not capable of doing that in bhakti because you don't know me. Yes, and today Baba is highlighting that, the most important direction that Baba gives is consider yourself to be a soul and remember me. And that is Baba's direction for surrender. But Baba says that how do you consider yourself to be a soul and remember me? Only when you know the introduction of the soul and know the introduction of Baba. Because you see, everybody remembers Baba. But why is that remembrance not making us like Baba? Or why is that remembrance not purifying us? Until and unless we get his introduction, because we are remembering our idea of God, not God as he is. So, we are thinking about God like a magical entity who stops our karma from coming to us, and, all the pap that we do, he just absolves us of that, and we don't have to bear the brunt of our own karma, and then he gives us some magical powers through which we attain everything without doing anything. So all of that, and just think about how interesting is it that even the false idea that we have for God works. It is that interesting that even though Baba is not somebody who gives us material things, still Baba says, anybody who has bhavana for me, I fulfill their desire also. And I have whenever I conduct courses, I ask people what is their relationship with God, or what is their connection with God, without having the introduction of God. So I ask them when they come for course, and every person in my experience has told me that when I was a kid and I used to pray for anything, God used to give me that. Yes, and it is very interesting that God is not somebody who does that. But when a kid has pure feelings, although that feeling is not knowledgeful, but pure feelings are rewarded even when they are not accurate. So Baba says that, if you really understood who I am and remembered me accurately, just think about what will happen. So Baba says, I give you my introduction that I am the purifier. I am the ocean of knowledge, peace, love, I am the Almighty. And when you remember me with that awareness, and you remember me with the awareness that I'm coloring you in my company, when you remember me, when you become detached from all other remembrance and have full concentrated remembrance of me as I am, then you become master in my qualities. And then you become the king of kings in the new world. So Baba says that surrender means remembrance of Baba, and remembrance of Baba means that I should know Baba first. And that's why Baba says, now is the time to surrender. Yes, and do you know that there are many people who surrender their life to God? Yes, but they have no introduction. So they are doing some job, something or the other, and they are dedicating their life, but they are not able to have the benefit that God actually gives, because they don't know this is my Baba, this is my parent. So they are approaching Baba like a beggar. But actually, you are somebody who has all rights over Baba's property. And with that rightfulness, with that awareness of who Baba is, and with that awareness that I am the one, I am the child, the deserving child of Baba. Yes, so sometimes, when people are remembering God, they don't even have this confidence that they deserve what they're asking for. Yes, so they think that, we are mere beggars and it is up to God's mercy whether He gives me or doesn't give me. But Baba says, you're not beggars, you are deserving children of the Supreme Father. And with that right, with that, sense of right over His all treasures, when you sit in remembrance of Baba as the, one who fills you with all treasures, and you get colored in His company, then you become the King of Kings. So Baba says, now surrender to me. This is the only time I come. This is the only time I'm giving you my direction. And you are the only fortunate children who have the fortune of taking these directions. So now surrender to me. And when somebody surrenders to Baba, then it is always said that, God leaves no stone unturned for those who surrender to Him. So this is the time for surrender. And then today, Baba talks about, regard. And Baba says that Baba says you are becoming worship worthy, and there is no need to worship anybody. There is no need to bow down to anybody other than Baba. But Baba says that doesn't mean that you don't have regard for anybody. So respect and regard, both are our qualities. And what is respect? Respect we have to have for every soul. Yes, and what is the expression of respect? What do you think is the expression of respect? So how do you make somebody feel that, or extend that vibration that I respect you? Please think and tell me.
I think respect would mean to let them be the way they want to be without disturbing them, and at the same time getting disturbed.
Anything else? Yes.
Making them comfortable, feel comfortable,
and how do you do that? Do you give a cushion and make them feel comfortable?
Maybe by not having bad feelings for them inside, actually. The thought should be clean.
Correct.
And we are not judging them inside or criticizing them. By that, we are giving them respect.
Correct. And what else? Yes.
By respect, Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
By respect, sometimes like we obey them, and we are full of love also for them, and we want to follow them, like what they are doing.
Okay.
We want to be like them, like we respect our fathers. We want to be like our father. We want to follow the aims and objectives of the father. Yes. And what they said for us, we know that it's for our welfare. We have that inner faith.
Okay. So first thing, respect doesn't mean you obey and follow somebody. This you have to get clear, because if you obey and follow somebody, you will become like them. Okay, but do you want to become like become a deity, or do you want to become like some person in Kali Yuga, or some person who is not perfect? Nobody in Kali Yuga is perfect, so we don't want to copy their imperfections. So we don't want to obey and follow anybody. So whatever anybody does or says, take it with a pinch of salt. Yes, so just listen to everything and use your intellect about what is according to Srimad and what is not according to Srimad. So respect is not obeying and following anybody blindly. Okay. Then what is the expression of respect? So because these are the things. So in the world, and this is very, I thank you for putting it forth so that it got corrected. So sometimes we think that respect means you touch somebody's feet, bow down to somebody, but Baba says that I am even asking you to not bow down to me. So Baba says, I don't have feet and you don't have to bow down to me. So you don't have to bow down to any human being. And it's not necessary for you to touch anybody's feet or, bow down before anybody. That's not an expression of respect. And how many of you felt that many a times you're bowing down to somebody without any respect? So you're just bowing down to their seat or what they can do for you, or out of selfish reasons, and there is no respect there. So respect means, first thing is you are, so when we are talking about respect, so we will talk about regard also. So first, respect is for everyone. Okay. So for every soul, the expression of respect is being non-judgmental. So whoever they are, I don't have any thoughts about whether they are wrong or right or whatever. Then having hope and having a sense that everybody is worthy and everybody is deserving, everybody is worthy, and they can do better. Having hope and faith in every soul, that's also a sign of respect. Yes, so, and this is the kind of respect that Baba shows us. So Baba doesn't judge us for who we are, and then Baba has hope and faith in me that I can be the best, I can become a deity, and anybody can become anyone they want to become. And when you say that, when you have this thought that this person can't become this or this person doesn't deserve this, then that is very disrespectful. Yes, so that kind of disrespect we don't have to show. And I remember there was this one Kanya, and when she came to the center, she had she was very good with Baba's knowledge and very disciplined. So one day I was sitting with her and I asked her, what do you like most about Baba? And then she said that, I like that Baba is very respectful. So I thought, this is not the answer I expected. So then I said, what do you mean by Baba is respectful? So she said, Baba has never told me you can't do this. And everybody told me that, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do the other. And even for things where I feel I can't do it, Baba says, why can't you do it? You can do it. And that is very respectful. And I really hated this thing that, everybody, when they tried to dismiss me, I didn't like it. So in the world, I have always struggled with this. And when I came to Baba, I loved this about Baba. So this is an expression of respect. And then what is regard? So regard is, according to the position, power, authority that people hold in the world, or according to the hierarchy in this system also, in Baba's family also. So Mama and Baba are Mama and Baba. They are higher than us. And or dadis, or the instrument teachers, they are higher than us and in hierarchy. So nobody is saying that you can't get a better place or position than them in Satyug, but right now they are higher in hierarchy. Okay, or right now somebody is a boss and you are the employee, or right now somebody is someone and you are not in that position. And according to that, there is a code of conduct which is which is dictated by society or by the rules of the yajna, and you have to stick to that code of conduct, and that is called regard. I will tell you one incident. So there was this one person, and he was a government officer, and he wielded a lot of power, and but he was very corrupt, and he took a lot of bribes. And then there was this another person, he was a businessman, and he was the person who used to give bribes to this person. So then this businessman, so once he visited this officer's chamber, and for some reason this officer made him wait for half an hour. And then this businessman got very irked, and then he shouted and screamed and yelled, and he said that you have no authority to disrespect me, because you are the one who takes bribe and I am the one who gives bribe. Okay, so he, having done that, he just came out of that place. Now this person, because he was corrupt, yes, but he was a person of authority. So later, for I think a good 15 years, until this person was in power, he did not allow any project of this businessman to materialize. And then this person who was the businessman, he told me, Didi, but that person is somebody who takes bribes, so why should I wait for him? So I said, but just ask yourself, why did you wait for him? Because he is a person of authority, and you cannot break the code. It is the code. Whether you give him bribe or not is up to you. You don't want to bribe him, don't bribe him. But you cannot shout and scream at him. And if you do that, it is going to have consequences. And this is also law of karma. So if somebody is in a position, then they are not, maybe, today they are not doing anything right or good, but they are in that position because of some karmic law. And you have to give regard to that. And if you don't give regard to that, then that is also under the law of karma, you will be punished. So, even if, like for parents, with parents also, you have to give regard to them, that they gave birth to you, birth physically, or you may not obey them, you may not follow them in whatever they say, but you have to give regard to them. You cannot reject them on their face. So being polite with them, or being, just listening to what they are saying patiently, this is also an expression of regard. So when we are not living in a world where everybody is in the same position, and that position has to be given regard to. Respect is different. Respect is a vibrational energy that you extend to somebody, or with some physical expressions. But regard is very concrete. Who says namaste first, or who sits first, who stands. These are all codes dictated by society, and you have to adhere to that. Yes. So let's say one thing, suppose there is a dynamic in a place where somebody is elder to you in age, and then that person may be the worst, according to their character, and you are a noble person, but then still, if they stand and you sit, it doesn't look proper. So you make them sit. What's the big deal? So just give them that regard. And then, so these things are according to the roles of society, or according to the laws of the yajna. Instrument souls have to be given regard. Baba doesn't say that you cannot have a bigger position than even the instrument souls or the dadis in Satyug. You can. If you make that effort, you can. But right now you are in a certain position, and that regard has to be given. Okay, so that is something that we have to understand, and these are God's words, and you have to pay attention to that. Okay, now there is one question: how to overcome anxiety and panic attacks? Please give some tips. Okay, so the first tip is, nobody has a panic attack or anxiety all the time. So the tip is not for when you have it. The tip is when you're not having it. At that time, practice that I'm not the body. I'm not even what I'm feeling. I am a peaceful soul. And try to practice that and build awareness. And when you have that state, when you've practiced it, then at the time of when you are having, when something has triggered that, that thought process or that feeling, at that time you can just bring that practice to help you. So if you have built that practice that I am a soul and I'm not the body and I'm not my feelings, then you can apply that practice. And at that time, you will be able to detach from your feelings and then come to the awareness that I'm peaceful, and just allow your mind to be peaceful because of that. So this tip is not for when you have an attack, because when you have an attack, you go to the psychologist, they will give you many tips. But those will not help until and unless you practice when you don't have an attack. So this is my understanding. Okay. Om Shanti.